For nearly 2 decades, the Iraqi dinar has been the subject of intense speculation. Investors and watchers worldwide have been holding their breath, waiting for a revaluation that could reshape Iraq's financial landscape. We've heard the rumors, seen the theories, but as 2025 gets into full swing, something feels different. Real economic reforms are happening, new global partnerships are forming, and serious policy changes are taking shape. So the big question on everyone's mind is, could 2025 finally be the turning point for the Iraqi dinar? Let's dive in. To really get what's happening now, we need to take a quick trip back in time. After the 2003 Iraq War, the old currency was swapped out for the new Iraqi dinar, issued by the Central Bank of Iraq, or CBI. To keep things stable, it was pegged to the US dollar, and for years, it sat stubbornly around 1,450 dinar to $1. This stability didn't stop the rumors of a massive revaluation, or RV, from spreading like wildfire. The dream was simple. Iraq, with its vast oil wealth, would one day restore the dinar to its pre-war strength, making early investors incredibly wealthy overnight. While that lottery-style win hasn't happened, Iraq has been quietly making steady progress toward modernizing its financial system. Now, let's talk about the engine of Iraq's economy, oil. It's no secret that Iraq is a global oil powerhouse. Over 90% of the country's revenue comes from crude exports. In 2025, with global oil prices holding strong, averaging around $80 to $90 a barrel, Iraq has a very healthy and stable stream of income. This isn't just pocket change. It's allowed the government to build up its foreign reserves to over $100 billion, according to the latest reports from the CBI. Why does this matter? These reserves are the backbone of the dinar. They support its value, pay for essential imports, and keep the local economy from shaking. As long as oil money keeps flowing, Iraq has more and more leverage to manage its own currency. And speaking of managing the currency, the Central Bank of Iraq has been making some serious power moves lately. They've rolled out major reforms to strengthen the dinar and clean up the financial system. One of the biggest changes? They've tightened their grip on currency auctions. This cracks down on illegal dollar outflows, making sure that US dollars are only used for legitimate trade. It's a huge step toward transparency. At the same time, Iraq is embracing the digital age, pushing for electronic payments and digital banking. This not only makes tracking money easier but also helps root out corruption. Plus, Iraq is working hand-in-hand with international giants like the IMF and the World Bank to adopt modern banking practices. All these technical, behind-the-scenes efforts are building a solid foundation for a stronger, more credible dinar. There's another big global trend that's playing right into Iraq's hands: de-dollarization. All around the world, countries like China, Russia, and India are starting to trade in their own local currencies, largely through the BRICS alliance. Now, Iraq isn't a BRICS member, but it has shown a lot of interest in this shift. Imagine Iraq trading its oil for Chinese yuan instead of US dollars. This would reduce its reliance on the dollar and protect it from US sanctions, opening up a world of new trade possibilities. A more diverse foreign exchange system gives the dinar much more room to breathe on the international stage, potentially setting it up for a gradual rise in value over the long term. So let's get to the $1 million or maybe million dinar question. Can a revaluation really happen? The word revaluation often conjures up images of a sudden dramatic jump. Many hope the dinar will go from 1,450 per dollar to maybe 1 to 1 or even $3 per dinar overnight. But let's be realistic. From an economic standpoint, that's just not feasible. A sudden massive spike would cripple Iraq's export market and throw its entire economy into chaos. What experts are actually predicting is something much more sustainable, a gradual appreciation. Think slow and steady. This would be driven by real economic growth, those beefy foreign reserves we talked about, and disciplined financial management. For instance, we might see the rate adjust to 1,200 or even 1,000 dinar per dollar over several years. That's a realistic path forward. A currency is only as strong as the economy behind it. That's why Iraq's government is working hard to diversify away from its dependence on oil. They've launched several exciting projects to kickstart other sectors. They're reviving agriculture with the goal of exporting food again. They're developing religious and historical sites to boost tourism. They're expanding their own energy grid to cut down on expensive electricity and gas imports. And they're fostering a tech scene, encouraging private companies to innovate in digital finance. If these sectors start to grow and thrive through 2025 and beyond, the dinar will naturally gain real value, not because of speculation, but because of genuine economic progress. So, what are the experts saying about all this? Financial analysts are cautiously optimistic. They believe 2025 could be the year that Iraq truly solidifies the foundation for a future revaluation. The combination of the CBI's smart reforms, strong oil money, and new international friendships is creating a uniquely stable environment. However, they also give a word of warning. Big risks like political instability, deep-rooted corruption, and ongoing security threats are still very real. Iraq's ultimate success won't just come from good monetary policy. It will depend on good governance, solid infrastructure, and the confidence of investors. Let's look at the road ahead. Toward 2030, the journey to a stronger dinar will likely be a marathon, not a sprint. Over the next 5 years, we can expect to see a more transparent and modern financial system take hold in Iraq. We could witness the dinar gradually but consistently gain strength. We'll also likely see more foreign investment pouring into the country's banking and energy sectors. And who knows, Iraq might even join regional economic alliances like an expanded BRICS. If Iraq can stay disciplined, steer clear of major political drama, and keep pushing for reform, the dream of a revalued dinar, the realistic, gradual version, could finally start to become a reality. So, to wrap it all up, is 2025 the turning point for the Iraqi dinar? The answer really is a matter of perspective. If you're waiting for an overnight jackpot, you might be disappointed. But if you look at the bigger picture, 2025 could very well be the year that Iraq takes the most decisive steps yet toward long-term currency stability and real economic growth. With strong oil revenue, tighter financial controls, and a serious push for modernization, the groundwork is being laid for a more valuable and respected dinar. The hype about instant wealth might be overblown, but the foundation for a real revaluation, built on solid economics, is stronger in 2025 than it has ever been. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.